George Russell wedged out Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton and McLaren's Lando Norris to secure pole position for Sunday's British Grand Prix as the race's home three drivers waged an intense fight to head the grid amid an on-off rain at Silverstone. For the first time ever at Silverstone and the first time anywhere in F1 since 1968, the front three positions on the grid will be taken up by a trio of British drivers. Russell, who won last week's Austrian Grand Prix, after profiting between the Norris and Verstappen collision, took his second pole for the four races by 1.5 tenths from margin from Hamilton, with a brilliant final lap of 1:25.8, just moments after his teammate briefly moved to the top of the times. If it is Mercedes' first front row lockout in F1 since November 2022, and emphatically signals the farewell champions return to the front running contention in the sport after 2.5 seasons in Red Bull's shadow. Norris started the final laps in a provisional second but dropped to third behind Hamilton after abandoning his final attempt due to errors. On a difficult and disappointing day for the world Championship leaders, Verstappen qualified only fourth after his pace was compromised by floor damage sustained with an error that sent him through the gravel at Copse during a frantic rain-hit Q1. Teammate Sergio Perez earlier made the same mistake, but this time it had far greater consequences as he got beached in the gravel. It left the Mexican 19 on the 20 car grid and deepens the pressure on his shoulders amid a poor run of form that already raised questions about his Red Bull future despite signing a new contract in May. Oscar Piastri was fifth in the second McLaren, Nico Hülkenberg again impressing for Haas to take sixth. Haas ran Ferrari engines and Hülkenberg impressive effort saw the customer out-qualify the work supply, with Ferrari again out of the picture at the front. Carlos Sainz was only 7th, while Charles Leclerc was knocked out in Q2 and will start from 11th. Aston Martin, whose factory is located over the road from the Silverstone circuit gates, moved back into the top 10 after some difficult weekends, with Lance Stroll 8th and Fernando Alonso 10th. It's the fifth time the Canadians out-qualified his two-time world champion teammate this year. Williams' Alex Albon meanwhile took a fine ninth to equal the team's best grid spot of the season so far. After making Q2 under the pressure, teammate Logan Sargent will start close behind in 12th, the American's best start of 2024. Well, Saturday's largely wet and windy weather at Silverstone may have been unkind to the massed ranks of fans around the old airfield. Thrilling and unpredictable qualifying action formed the showpiece of the day's activities, was certainly worth waiting for. Heavy morning showers had saturated the circuit, although the rain would become more intermittent by the time practice came around approaching lunchtime. Russell and Hamilton served notice of the threat likely to be posed by Mercedes, and then settling the pace in practice 3, and then a further downpour between sessions repeated that front running form in a frenetic Q1 session, which saw drivers first at times and intermediate times before switching to slicks, only for the rain to soon return. Norris was then quickest from Russell in Q2, and it was clear that Verstappen's floor damage would keep him out of the pole fight. The Q3 pole fight turned to the Britons. Russell had provisional pole after the first Q3 runs, only 0.006 from Norris, with Hamilton there before Mercedes elder Britain pressed to take pole himself by beating his teammate's marker by 0.034 on his final attempt. But it was Russell who would find the advantage on the final run to take pole. The car at the moment is feeling so good. It really came alive in qualifying. What a drive to drive around this circuit. We're riding this wave at the moment, absolutely buzzing, but eyes on tomorrow. We have to win a race. Hamilton, who'd been chasing a record-extending 8th British Grand Prix pole, said he's still left time on the table, but is feeling confident about the car tomorrow and can work together to keep Lando and Max behind. Although Norris had dropped behind Hamilton, he's still ahead of Verstappen, and the McLaren driver was still pleased to be ahead of him, praising the Mercedes drivers and acknowledging his little mistake which may have cost him pole. But F1's world champions head into race day with plenty to do, with the challenge particularly great for Perez. While his Red Bull future had finally appeared secure for the medium term after signing a 2-year contract, the Mexican arrived at Silverstone with fresh speculations about his status in the team. The Q1 exit on Saturday was therefore the last thing Perez needed, particularly when it came courtesy of an error, albeit in tricky slippy conditions when drivers had just started changing from intermediate to slick tyres. I got caught out of conversations. I was trying to warm up the tyres into turn 9, but as I downshifted I locked up the rear tyre and went off the track, said Perez. I ended up losing the car, going into gravel, and that was it. Perhaps underlining the RB20's tricky to drive, usually error-free Verstappen almost made the identical mistake but was able to keep the car going. This was still costly mistakes for the Dutchman as he damaged his floor and led to him kind of losing points of downforce, and from now on it was just about trying to survive where Red Bull fixed his car and get a respectable grid balance position, which he was able to do. And before I go, let me run you through the qualifying classification. Yeah, the Mercedes drivers looking at the front row. Unbelievable job from them. What a job they're doing. Russell in particular with a brilliant lap. Norris, I think, will be disappointed not to be in there amongst them, but I think still in a very good position for the race. I think Verstappen obviously did make that error, but did a very good job to get fourth in what was seen like a heavily damaged car. Piastri fifth will probably be disappointed to be behind Verstappen and not closer to maybe the top three. But yeah, I think still he can work from there tomorrow. Ferrari behind Haas was a shock result, but Hulkenberg once again the star of qualifying, an outstanding job from him. Lance Stroll once again beating Fernando Alonso. He's been really impressive, and Aston looking a bit more competitive this week. And then you got Albon in ninth. Yeah, great job from him to get that Williams into Q3, and yeah, hoping he can get some points tomorrow. But Leclerc going out was a big shock, and yeah, just doesn't really seem to be clicking for him at the moment. And Ferrari, those upgrades, yeah, just haven't worked out, and they're in a very interesting spot at the moment at Ferrari, and they need to, yeah, sort it out. Sargent in 12th did a great job in that Williams. I think, yeah, to get that close to Q3, he can definitely take confidence from that, even if it is behind his teammate. Zhou as well, quite high up, and the RBs and kick Saubers, maybe a bit of improvement compared to the past weekend, and yeah. Decent jobs from them, and you know, potentially can get points. Magnussen 17th though, Hulkenberg 6th. Yeah, it's just really not good enough. He has to be stepping up. You can say the same for Red Bull and Perez. Yeah, another unforgivable mistake, and the pressure is just going to keep ramping up. And then yeah, disaster day for Alpine after their recent improvements. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on our socials. Link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme, and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.